So chances are you've probably seen the news somewhere throughout the past 24 hours, depending on when this video was uploaded, probably during the day sometime, I'm not sure when, but the Sonic Frontiers trailer finally dropped, and we actually have a actual look at the game itself rather than just a CGI trailer. And to be honest, mostly this is just CGI, but there are a lot of really impressive shots throughout the trailer that actually show and indicate gameplay, and we don't actually see Sonic do much of anything within the gameplay itself, but we see the land and pretty much how the world is going to be when you play as Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, the trailer we got for the game we now know to officially be Sonic Frontiers was actually 1 minute and 21 seconds, and as I said earlier, the majority of it was CGI. I'm saying this once again to say that there's still a ton of information that we do not get from this trailer. I mean, we don't even know any of Sonic the Hedgehog's animations outside of him just standing still, which really isn't even an animation. Nonetheless, there's still a ton of information that I was able to find throughout the trailer, and of course there was information that was able to be found outside of the trailer and through some other sources. To be totally honest, there was actually a lot of information to look over and analyze, so I'm really thankful I had help from my friend FinnCredible on Discord and YouTube. If you're watching this right now, bro, I really appreciate it. I mean, I think you jacked up your entire sleep schedule just to help me out with this video, so I'm really thankful for that, dog. Really appreciate it. The first thing I did when it came to analyzing this trailer was to slow it down to the slowest speed that it could possibly be, and I actually ended up getting about 3 pages of notes when it came to the content within the video. So of course, the first thing you will notice, like the previous trailer, is the sheer fact that this game is being made by Sonic Team, and also I believe this trailer is somewhat of a continuation of what we saw in the last one. Now, I didn't say it was a direct follow-up because some things happened completely different in this one in comparison to the previous one. Since that was a teaser, it only gave us a tidbit of what to expect, and this trailer of course gives us a lot more to work with, so we're able to get more of a story and more out of it. So after we see the made by Sonic Team logo or whatever, we see that Sonic is in the exact same forest, I believe, as he was in the previous teaser. So Sonic is running, and then he turns around and sees that he is being chased by something that may be underground or completely invisible. Judging by the way the trailer goes, we know this is probably going to be a new enemy, something we haven't seen in the Sonic series before, and we can also tell from a few moments later when it shoots these purple and black missiles. 3 of these missiles are sent flying in the air, and at that moment Sonic sees that happen and he hears a voice say to him, "Sonic, over here." He turns his head to the left and begins to go in that direction, and when that happens we find out these missiles are actually homing missiles as they actually follow Sonic in that exact same direction. The 3 missiles seem to collide together and cause a purple explosion, and at that moment when Sonic is sent flying in the air, this blue line and purple box thing that we've seen before in the previous teaser is given to Sonic, giving him extra speed. Now I'm going to go on a limb here and assume this is probably not an innate ability that Sonic has. I also don't think this is an ability that Sonic ends up learning either. I believe that whoever called Sonic in that direction earlier is probably the one who gave him that power. The only reason I say this is because Sonic seems to be kind of running really fast away from this being, and I feel like he would have used this power earlier if he had it already. So I'm going to roll with the assumption that Sonic probably can't do this on his own, which is kind of strange because this new power reminds me a lot of the boost. It even leaves a similar trail of blue behind, as if to imply that Sonic has just gotten faster like the boost normally does. With the help of this strange new ability, Sonic is able to get out of the forest, roll, and stop himself before he falls into the ocean. I also want to add that perhaps doing that roll after he used up that ability indicates that maybe he doesn't have full control over the extent of its power yet. Sonic isn't normally known for stopping on a dime, but it's never this excessive. Normally he'll just have to slide his shoes forward and he'll be just fine, but in this he has to roll and then slide. It's as if this power is something he's unable to completely control. Anyway, we get a really cool shot of Sonic turning around and then also observing this new landscape that we have never seen in a Sonic game before. The landscape is really broad and wide, indicating this is probably going to be the open world game that we all thought it was going to be. I also want to make note that this land seems completely barren. There seems to be no enemies, people, or anything else of that variety. There is of course the theory that Sega could be hiding this kind of stuff from us, considering that they really didn't show us a whole lot of enemy footage until the very end of the trailer, which we'll get to later. Anyway, at about 34 seconds in the distance you can see this very long tower towering over the entire biome. I am not a betting man, but I'm guaranteeing this probably has some use. Actually, not just use, but I'm guaranteeing that it'll probably be a key part of the entire game. But anyway, in the next couple camera shots, we just see different looking biomes and their locations, and we also get a nice look at Sonic looking at a bunch of other biomes and towers and this really weird upside down pyramid. At first, I was wondering if maybe this upside down pyramid was probably another tower, but seeing as though every single tower in this trailer looks pretty much the same and this one is the only one that's different, I'm not too sure if that's the same thing. Also, there's a couple other things to notice about this shot. First things first, these towers are kind of spread pretty far apart, almost as if they're going to be used for some type of fast travel, which I've seen done in the game Breath of the Wild. Not to mention, there's also this really weird looking structure that's way beneath Sonic, and I think this is actually very important as it appears later in the trailer. There's also another biome seen way far off in the distance that may be some type of rocky or volcanic biome, but again, I'm not totally sure if this is actually a different biome or the same one, considering it's pretty far off. The last thing truly worth noting about this shot is Sonic the Hedgehog himself, who kind of looks like the Sonic Forces model. However, this one looks to be a bit more refined as he's a darker blue, and the shoes seem to appear a bit shinier. The chances are this might just be a placeholder, or maybe it's going to be the final model, or maybe it's just unfinished. Who really knows? This is the only shot that we actually get of Sonic in-game. But I did also notice that the standing pose is also very similar to the one in Sonic Forces. And yes, Sonic the Hedgehog has had different standing poses before, they're not all the same. Moving on, we get a look at this waterfall looking area, which actually looks really nice. And then after that, we get a look at the structure I mentioned earlier. To be totally honest, I sat and looked at this thing for a very long time trying to figure out what exactly it's trying to be, and then I realized I think it might be a chair. Now I know that probably sounds really stupid, but as the camera continues to pan in on this object, it looks more and more like someone is supposed to sit there as there are two handlebars to the left and the right. But I guess the question is, who is this chair for, and who put it there? And what does it have to do with anything else going on here? Well, it likely has something to do with the towers, but as far as who put it there and who does it belong to, I have no idea. Considering the fact that this trailer shows us little to no inhabitants of this area, I'm gonna have to say this is going to be left up in the open. But then in the next shot, one of our questions about the chair might be answered. As you can see, this chair might have actual purpose in the story, and it's not just there for decoration, as we can see there's another chair in the distance on this lone rock in the ocean. However, what makes this one so much different than the last one is that there's like a red object in the actual circle of the chair. There seems to be some beam of light in there that perhaps may have usage for the actual story. Needless to say, these chairs are probably pretty important. Next shot is actually really important, and I think maybe one of the most important in the entire trailer. Now, this one actually indicates that there is actual life here, intelligent life that is. Now you see, there's a bridge above the entire landscape, and it's our first look at extra technology being used here. You notice throughout the entire trailer, every piece of the actual land itself is completely, I guess, stone or wood or something along those lines. But here we actually see something made completely out of metal with lights and everything on it. I'm not sure who or what made these, or if they were already there when Sonic got there, so it's still completely unclear. In this shot, we also find out there's going to be access to day and nighttime. I think this is something they wanted to try in Sonic 06, but weren't able to, but at least they're finally able to implement it here. Also, if you look closely at the walls here, there's something green and blue going on, and I'm not totally sure what that is, but it's interesting to say the least. Moving on, at around 49 seconds in the trailer, we see there's a field of roses, and in the background, there's these two huts that are made out of wood. Furthermore, in the background, we see there's another metallic structure, one against the wall and one that's going against the ground. At around 52 seconds in, we see another pyramid structure, and I'm not totally sure if this is the upside down pyramid from earlier, but hey, it's a pyramid nonetheless. Moving on at another shot, we see a closer look at this tower as the camera kind of pans up and down to see the height of the entire view. It's also interesting to note that this tower has the same blue and green effect as those walls did that I mentioned earlier. It's interesting. The trailer finishes with CG, as we can see this is probably around the afternoon nighttime. In this short quick second, we see that to the right of Sonic there is a green and blue light again. almost reminiscent of the tower. The camera pans in on Sonic's eye, and we see that we get our first look at perhaps one of the first bosses of the game, or maybe a boss in the game. Sonic backs up, and we see that the logo is there, Sonic Frontiers, releasing Holiday 2022, and it's for every single console. Well, all of the major consoles anyway. We also get a website, which I'll be talking about a bit later. Anyway, we're back to the CGI trailer, and we see two legs, or what I believe to be legs, of the giant robot, and to the left of that we see a tower, so perhaps the thing that Sonic was sitting next to earlier was just an object that perhaps looked like a tower. I only say that because these towers seem to be pretty spread apart at first glance. Anyway, the robot steps down and destroys a large portion of the land, with Sonic jumping back in mid-air. The camera pans up and we get a better look at the tower and also the robot, who I don't even think we get to see its head, just its legs and maybe its arm. All we really do know is this is much different than anything we've seen in the Sonic the Hedgehog series before, much like the entire trailer. The trailer ends with a really cool shot of Sonic looking up at it, very angry, and that's the entire trailer. Alright, so I believe I properly analyzed this thing. It may have taken a while, but I wanted to make sure I got every little facet that I could. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment sections down below as always. But with that out of the way, now let's try to analyze everything that I found outside of the trailer that would actually help us form an idea of what this game is going to be like. So when you get to the website, it says Holiday 2022 and you're allowed to watch the trailer, but underneath that it says Worlds will collide in Sonic the Hedgehog's newest adventure, an experience like never before. Accelerate to new heights and experience the thrill of high velocity, open zone freedom. Battle powerful enemies as you speed through the Starfall Islands, landscapes brimming with dense forest, overflowing waterfalls, sizzling deserts, and more. This holiday 2022, speed into new realms. We get a couple of screenshots, and none of which were actually shown in the trailer, so these are actually new looks. That said though, from these words alone, we find out this game is going to be open zone freedom. So I'm going to assume it's somewhat similar to open world. Not totally sure considering it's called open zone, staying true to the Sonic the Hedgehog name. We also find out that these areas are known as separate islands, the Starfall Islands, and they may perhaps be separated by water since that's what an island is. Perhaps the only way to access these different islands is to go to the towers I mentioned before. Again, this is just a thought, nothing is actually confirmed here. Moving on, let's go to an article made by Polygon, which was released pretty much after the actual announcement of the game. According to the Polygon article, the game is being developed by Sega Sonic Team Japan and is being led by producer Sachiko Kawamura and director Morio Kushimoto. Just to give you a little background, Kuwamura actually directed the Chao Gardens and assisted in the look and feel for Sonic Unleashed. Thank you again, Fincredible, for really hooking me up with this research. You are truly the GOAT. Anyway, the Polygon article goes on to say that it will feature an original storyline from the Sonic Boom writer, Ian Flynn. Chances are, if you're a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, you probably know who this is. He does a lot of writing for the IDW comics and has a heavy hand in the Sonic the Hedgehog series as a whole. So then we get a word from Takashi Iizuka, the creative officer at Sonic Team USA. And he said this: Sonic Frontiers is a huge leap forward for the franchise, delivering an evolved gameplay experience that can be enjoyed by longtime Sonic fans and action-adventure enthusiasts alike. There is one more article that I actually found that was actually worth highlighting here, and actually I cannot find it anymore. I think it must have been redacted, and that means it may not be true, but even still, if it is, I want to talk about it. So it says, in Sonic Frontiers, Sonic's longtime nemesis Dr. Eggman discovers an ancient technology on Starfall Islands, and installs his AI program Sage to hack in and take over. But there is more to this technology than he realizes, and unintended consequences immediately come to bear. Sonic must race against time to discover the truth, save his friends, and maybe even save himself at the same time. I initially found the article on mynintendonews.com, but it's not there anymore. So, yeah, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure how true that's going to be. Moving on, we can take it to Twitter, and we see that there's a tweet by Mike Pollock where he says hashtag Sonic Frontiers is the name, thrilled to be part of the game, hashtag Dr. Eggman. We also get a response from Colleen O'Shaughnessy where she just says same as a response. I'm not trying to go crazy here, but I think this means that Eggman and Tails are confirmed for the game. We also got word from T-Lopes on Twitter where he says Sonic Frontiers is coming. I did not compose for the game itself, but I did help create the music for this visually stunning trailer, with the help of Tomoya Otani. Please enjoy. We also get a follow-up tweet from T-Lopes where he says, again, I am not composing for Frontiers. Other unannounced equally awesome projects, yes, but not this one, folks. There is one last tweet by Jonoichi, who is the Japanese voice actor for Sonic, and he posted the Japanese Xbox trailer for Sonic Frontiers. And in this trailer, you can see that Sonic the Hedgehog is actually being called by Amy at the beginning of the trailer. Currently, as far as I know, this tweet has been deleted. But now that we know who is calling out to Sonic, that kind of opens up a lot of questions. Like, is Amy giving Sonic this power, or what's happening with it? And also, where could Amy possibly be? There are literally so many unanswered questions. But anyway, that is all of the 100% solid as a rock facts I could find on Sonic Frontiers today that were actually posted. I'm sure a lot of those past leaks have been confirmed absolutely now, and I'm sure that a lot of you are rejoicing. However, I want to get into my own personal thoughts. So back when we thought the game was going to be called Sonic Rangers, I actually made a video talking about how I was feeling pretty optimistic and wanted to see more. To be totally honest, that feeling has not left me. Actually, I feel a little bit more optimistic than I usually am. Of course, the biggest concern is that we really don't have any gameplay to go off of except for a couple of in-game screenshots and, of course, a little footage. It also doesn't really help when I see this model and I think of Sonic Forces. That said, however, I'm actually really confident in the creative direction they're going in, and it's actually really unique from what we've seen before. These CG trailers remind me of something I would see back in the day with the old school Sonic, you know, the Sonic Adventure series, Sonic Unleashed, and I kind of get that same feeling. I also really do enjoy the stories that Ian Flynn tells with his Sonic the Hedgehog writing. So that said, I'm feeling pretty positive about the game overall. I just really would love to see some gameplay. Nevertheless, I am going to choose to stay optimistic. What's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end of the video. But now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the first official trailer of Sonic Frontiers? I know we got a teaser before, but this is the real deal. I really want to hear all of your own personal thoughts about this because you could really go either way on how you feel about this game. You could feel either really excited or really cautious and really nervous. Either way works perfectly fine. Moving on though, I want to give another huge thank you to my friend Fincredible and also take the time to shout out some of my amazing channel members. Thank all of you so much for continuing to support me and my channel and help me out exponentially. You guys are truly the best motivators. I could not do this stuff without you. You guys are truly the best. If you want to become a member of my channel, there will be more information in the link in the description down below. But if you want to support me through other means, leaving a like, comment, and subscribing definitely goes a super long way. Anyway, with that said and done, this is your boy SONICSTA signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?